Out of all the times in the whole year, Purim is one of the most auspicious times for tefillah. A prayer that is said on Purim is extraordinarily powerful, and it's a really, really important day to try to focus on asking Hashem whatever you want. This is the day that Hashem gives us anything. This is hinted to in the Megillah in a couple places. One place is where it says, Ma she'elaseich v'yinasein lach, and of course, which means, what is your request and it will be given. That's what Achashverosh told Esther, but in a non-literal form, that's also a message from Hashem. What do you want and it will be given. We also say on Purim, Kol haposhet yad nosnin lo. Anybody who reaches out his hand, you give to him, which means we don't do background checks on people who are asking for charity on Purim. Give, 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 give. We don't focus on vetting everybody. It's a day of generosity, and the same is with Hashem. Kol haposhet yad nosnin lo. Anybody who reaches his hand out to Hashem, nosnin lo, it's given to him. Hashem gives. Hashem answers our tefillos on Purim. It's a really, really powerful day. So there's a few different areas that we could be davening for. One really, really important one is our ruchnius, our spirituality. We want to daven to Hashem that we should merit to be close to Him. And you might ask that on Purim, we know as we're exploring the depth of Purim, the holiness of Purim, Purim is a day of closeness. If we go into Purim with the right mindset, we understand what the essence of the day is really about. So the whole day is a day of interconnection. So why is that the day that we're davening for it? We, so to speak, have it. If we've done our Purim properly, we have it. Why do we daven for it? The answer is, we're not davening just right here in the moment. We're davening that we should be able to take Purim, take the closeness to Hashem that we can experience on Purim, package it up, and take it to go. We want to take it to go. We want to take this closeness to Hashem and bring it with us to the entire year. And that's what we're davening for. Hashem, take this feeling, the depth of feeling that I could feel on Purim, and let me bring this into my entire year. And the reason we need to do this is because on Purim, we receive a freebie. We receive a gift from Hashem of closeness to Him. Now, of course, that's not guaranteed and it's not automatic. And that's what we're talking about in these videos, is how to prepare ourselves for that. If we go through Purim with the right perspective and we understand what we're trying to achieve at each part of the day and the overall themes, then we could get this. But still, it's the power of the day. It's the energy of the day that allows us to absorb this. But if we want to take it to go, we want to take it for the whole year round, that we got to daven for. And on a deeper level, in order to experience a deep feeling of closeness to Hashem, that doesn't happen through work, really. It's not like a system, like a formula. Okay, I'm going to do this and this and this, and then I'm going to earn for myself closeness to Hashem. Closeness to Hashem is a gift. It is a gift from Hashem. The way to receive it is to create in ourselves a vessel to receive this gift. And there's different ways of doing that. One way is davening, saying, Hashem, I really, really, from the deepest place, I want to be close to you. Just desire it and show Hashem you desire it through tefillah, through davening and asking Hashem. And Hashem says, oh, okay, you want it so much, you so deeply crave closeness to me, I'm going to give that to you. So that's a kli that we create. So what more powerful time could there be to create this vessel within yourself to be able to receive these beautiful, amazing gifts from Hashem than to daven on the unbelievable, powerful day of Purim. So daven on Purim so that you could take Purim to go. You can take the ruchnius of Purim and bring it with you even when you leave Purim, and have it with you through the entire year. But we also daven for gashmias, for physical things. We also daven for the things that we need in our life. Don't let your level of connection to Hashem say like, oh, okay, maybe the deepest level is everything's okay. Hashem, I know that everything's for my good, and everything's good as it is. Hashem wants to give you blessing. Hashem wants to put everything you need in your life. It shouldn't just be an internal world of accepting your situation. Hashem wants you to have the best, most comfortable environment that you can. So daven for that gashmias. Don't let that go either. Daven, pray to Hashem for health, for a livelihood, for all the things that you need in your life. We want our outer world to match our inner world. We want to daven for both of them. And finally, it is such a powerful day to daven for your friend, because we're all in this together. Kol Yisrael arevim zeh lezeh. My spiritual level is not complete without yours and yours and yours and yours. And everybody, we're just a network of Jews trying to do the will of Hashem, and we need to be there to help another Yid, to help another Jew. The greatest way that you can help another Jew improve his spiritual or material, financial, whatever situation, is to daven for him. Take the opportunity on this day. Look around you. See the people around you, what they need, and don't forget about them on this day, on the tefillah of this day. I want to share an idea that I heard in the name of the Shem Mishmuel that absolutely blew me away of the power of prayer on this day. So he starts by quoting a verse or two in the Megillah. It says, "V'tomer lo zeresh ishtei v'chol oihavav yasu eitz gavoya chamishim ama u'baboiker emor lamelech v'yislu es Mordechai alav." The wife of Zeresh and his friends told Haman, "Let a stake be built. Let's build a gallows, 50 cubits, high, measurements high, and in the morning tell the king to have Mordechai hung on these gallows." And he says, what kind of way is talking to the king? How is that how you talk to the king? You say, tell the king, like you're ordering the king around, you're instructing the king. Okay, I'm just going to build this, and then I'm going to go tell the king, go take care of this problem. That's not how you talk to a king. You beg the king, you plead, you ask in the most respectful, humble way. Who tells the king something? But that's actually what happens. You see a few verses later that Haman approached the king. Vayomer hamelech mi b'chatzer v'Haman ba lachatzer beis hamelech hachitzona lemar lamelech litlos es Mordechai al ha'etz asher heichen loy. The king asked, this was in the middle of the night, who is in the courtyard? Haman had just entered the courtyard. The king had heard him. And you know why he came to the courtyard? Because he came to find the king, to tell him to hang Mordechai on the tree. So again, the question the Shem Mishmuel asks, is this how you talk to a king? Haman just tells the king what to do. Since when is that how that works? So he answers that yes, indeed, Haman ordered Achashverosh around, and the reason that was able to happen is because the king gave him such a high position of power that he became more powerful than the king himself. He raised him even above his own level, okay? And he quotes, I'm going to read for you a line from the Talmud and Megillah, okay? But we're just building up to a point here that is unbelievable, okay? So it says in Megillah that Mordechai learned everything that happened. Okay, there's another snapshot, little scene from the Purim story. Mordechai learned all that happened. He tore his clothes, he put on sackcloth and ashes, and he went through the city crying out loud and bitterly. Vayizak tse'aka gedola umara. He cried a loud and bitter cry. What was that cry about? What was this trigger that caused Mordechai to, almost lose hope? He didn't lose hope because he was always davening, but I'm just saying to express such a strong anxiety and sadness over the decree. What happened then? So there's a dispute among the rabbis in the Gemara. Rav says, first Rav and Shmuel. Rav says that Mordechai saw exactly this point, that Haman had become greater than the king, greater than Achashverosh. And that's when he almost despaired a little bit, because if Haman is greater than the king, there's nobody to talk to. Who is he going to appeal this to? The person to appeal to is the king. But if Haman has got the king in his back pocket, there's nobody to talk to. And that's where this bitter cry came out. There's nothing we can do. Haman is the top of the pyramid. Okay, and then we have another opinion. It's hard to believe such a statement, okay? If it wasn't written in the Talmud. Shmuel says that Mordechai saw that Haman became greater than the king. What does that mean? It means that the lower king, represented by Haman in his position, became more powerful than the king in heaven. Mordechai saw that in this story, Haman became more powerful than Hashem. Yes, you heard that right, than Hashem. What in the world does that mean? That means that Haman was able to tell Hashem what to do, so to speak. Haman was able to create the decree and go carry it out. Okay? Now, what does that mean? It means that Hashem's presence was so hidden and so concealed that it was as if there was nobody to talk to. Hashem was like not there. Okay? So that he explains is how Haman was able to tell Achashverosh what to do. Okay, so you see how this answers our question. The question is, how could Haman be ordering Achashverosh around? The answer is yes. Haman had powers that Achashverosh didn't have. He was truly able to order Achashverosh around. But here's the gold. Once there was v'nahapachu, once this whole decree was flipped on its face, says the Shem Shmuel, and the house of Haman was given over to Esther, this superpower was given to the Jewish people for the day of Purim. The power of Lamar al Hamelach, tell the king. The ability to tell Hashem what to do is one that we inherited from Haman in the story of Purim when everything flipped and the salvation to the Jewish people came. So that means on the day of Purim, we can command Hashem what to do. It's not just a begging and pleading before the great God. It's we tell Hashem what we need. This is what I need, Hashem. That's the confidence with which we can approach prayer on Purim. But the Shem Shmuel says there's one point that's crucial in order for this to work. And that is that we approach the tefillah with the same passion that Haman had in how he wanted Mordechai dead and the Jewish people dead. If we approach tefillah from a deep and passionate place, and just as much as Haman wanted those Jews dead, we want what we're asking from Hashem, you can be sure that this prayer will not be returned empty. It will not be returned unanswered. If it's an external prayer, it's like, here, I'm going to just email you a list. I'm going to submit all the things I need. Check. That's not where we're ordering Hashem around. But if we can bring ourselves to that level of wholesomeness in our prayer, like Haman had in his hatred for the Jews, we can be sure that will not be returned empty. So take advantage of this amazing day. How do we take advantage? I think everybody has to think about what they need to do. But for the most part, it means giving yourself the opportunity to daven properly. Now, all year round, it's ideal to do this. All year round, if you want to daven properly, you know what you need to do. You need to have a time and place and space where you can do that, where you're not rushed. Ideally coming, being ready a few minutes before you want to start davening, preparing yourself, clearing your mind, mentally preparing yourself to talk to Hashem, understanding who we're standing in front of. I know this is not realistic. Who's able to do that, right? It's hard to do that. This is the one day of year that it's so worthwhile to try to do that. Even if you have not found the time the entire year to daven up a full, proper tefillah, this is the day. Plan it out. Think about where you're going to be. There's 3 formal tefillos, Ma'ariv, Shachris, and Mincha. Where you're going to be. How could you set yourself up for success? How could you make this as powerful of a tefillah as it can be? And don't let anything distract you. Don't even let the other mitzvahs of Purim distract you. I got to daven quickly because I need to go do Mishloach Manos and this and that. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. We know the harder it is to do something, the more power is there. You might see that it's hard to do this. You might see that all kinds of things come up and there's so many distractions on Purim, such a busy, busy day, that it's so hard to do this. And that's another reason that you know that it must be truly powerful.